Welcome to the introduction to the new MJC website for content editors who have already been maintaining the MJC website. We're going to take a look today at the new website and some of its features, and some of the ways that it is different from the current site. We're going to start here on this page. You can see this is the same Modern Campus CMS interface that you've been using. But here are our new templates in it, and you can see we have our main content area, and we have our section navigation like we do on the current site, and we have our contact info here on the left, just like on the current site. We're going to dig into this page a little bit and take a look at some accessibility and see what sort of best practices that we can talk about here. So I'm going to go in and edit this page, and you can see just like on the current site, it comes up with the Just Edit box. And we can see up here at the top, built into the page template, is our heading 1. And then down here, we have our heading 2. We can see here when we select that, the heading 2 shows up here in the menu. And then underneath the heading 2, of course, is a heading 3. And if we go, we can find here's another heading 2, another heading 3, and then under the heading 3 is a heading 4. It's really important that when we use these heading styles, there are 4 headings that describe the content that appears below them. This is important for accessibility, and it's important for search engine optimization, and it's important for students who are just scanning the page and trying to find the information they're looking for by looking at those headings. If you want styles that you can use to emphasize text and draw focus to important things, we're going to look at some of those later, but headings are specifically for describing the content that goes immediately below them. We're also going to take a look here at a couple other accessibility things. Images, of course, they always need to be paired with alt text that describes the contents of the image, so that any student who is navigating to that page and using a screen reader to read them the contents of the page has access to all the same information that a student who can see the image has access to. Hyperlinks, of course, need to be descriptive of the place that they're going. So we're going to make hyperlinks that look like this, which describe where they're going to go. We're not going to make hyperlinks that look like this, which is just a long URL. We're not going to make hyperlinks that say click here, because again, people who are using screen readers or other assistive technologies are going to just have them read out the page, read out the hyperlinks on the page, the text of those hyperlinks. And if you have a hyperlink that says click here, they know that hyperlink says click here. They have no idea where that hyperlink is going to take them. Video that uses our video component, and we're going to look at that in a minute. Video that uses our video component and is playing video from the MJC YouTube channel is going to have closed captions turned on by default, and any video that uses that component and is playing from the MJC YouTube channel is going to be accessible. So it's totally fine to use video, provided you are both using the component and playing video from the MJC YouTube channel. Lists are a great way, and we'll see a list down here. Bulleted lists, numbered lists, both of those are a great way to provide accessible content and content that's easy to navigate. Tables are a little more difficult. We're going to be going into that in a little bit. We'll come back to tables. And then documents, of course. We are going to avoid, whenever possible, putting documents on the MJC website because there are all sorts of accessibility issues. That's a whole separate training. We're going to go into that. But we want to make sure that our content is available to our students, whether they're on mobile devices, whether they're using a screen reader. So whenever possible, we're going to avoid using PDFs or any other documents. We're just going to put that information we want our students to know right there on the page so they have access to it. All right, let's move over to some of the fancy new features that we have in the new version of the website. let's scroll all the way up to the top. You can see this is another page. I'm going to provide you links to both of these pages so you can look at them. You can see in this page, we don't have anything in the section navigation yet. This website's still a work in progress. We have a quick links box here, and that is there for you to provide links for your people who are navigating to your page that maybe aren't relevant to every page in your section, but are very important for this page. And so this quick links box is there to give you a space to put those links that you want to make sure that, outside resources, other pages on the MJC website, they can go right here in quick links. And we can turn that off if it's not in use. And then we have our contact information underneath. And this contact information, it's a really nice, it uses this new component that we're going to have on the new website. And so when we go in here to edit this, you can see this is a component. And all I put in is the email address of the person, and it's going to populate that information with their title and their phone number and their email address from the MJC directory. And so you can very quickly build out your contact section just by putting in the email addresses of the people who are in your department. We're trying to work smarter, not harder, make things efficient and fast. So a little work to get that set up, but now that it's working, it's going to make building your pages a lot easier. Let's take a look at some of these snippets. The first one that's really exciting, I know a lot of people are interested in, is the accordion snippet. And we can have any number of items in this accordion, and it's very easy to build. I'm going to show you how to do it in a minute. The next one we're going to have, I know people want to use a carousel. This carousel is just for photos. We're not putting flyers or slides or anything in here. It's not accessible for that. This is if you have photos of an event or photos of your department, and you want to show off a few of them, not just one. This carousel is a great way to do it, and it's very easy to navigate through those and look at all those pretty photos. The next thing we have is columns. Unlike our previous templates, columns aren't built into the templates. They are a snippet, and we can very easily build columns anywhere we want right on the page. The next one we're going to look at is a table. The tables are have built-in heading rows or heading columns, and this is a table with heading rows. And this is to make sure that your tables are accessible, because when we used to build tables on the old templates, there are potentially a lot of accessibility issues. This is going to provide you with those heading rows so you can describe exactly what's going to be in that table. If someone's using a screen reader, it's going to tell them exactly where they are, and they can get the full context of the data that they're looking at. We're not, because we have these columns now, we're not going to be using tables anywhere for layout on our page. Our tables are only for tabular data. So it's rare, but we do have some sections of the website where we have data that really can only be conveyed in a table, and that's what this is for. And the last snippet we're going to look at here are tabs. And tabs are a really nice way to condense a bunch of complex information. It's very easy to navigate through just by clicking or tabbing through these tabs, and you can find the information that you're looking for based on the descriptive headings that are up here. So let's go in and take a look at what those snippets look like. And I'm warning you, they're going to look a little strange at first, but you're going to get used to using them. All of these snippets are what's called table transforms, and they all look pretty much like this when you have them on the page. The snippets, this accordion, you're going to have the title on the left side and the content of the snippet on the right side. The carousel just has a row in this table transform for each of the images. You just put each image on its own row. If we want to add a row here, you can just click on the Add Row button. If you want to delete that row, you can just click on the Delete Row button. That's how easy it is to add a new item to the carousel, and the accordion works the same way. You can have as many items in that accordion as you'd like. Columns works pretty much the same way. Each It's slightly counterintuitive. Each column is a row. And so we can have 1 or 2 or 3 columns. I don't know that I would recommend going more than 3 columns. That's probably enough. But you're going to find if you're on a small mobile device and it's too wide to display all those columns, your columns are going to stack one on top of the other, and it'll be really easy for you to read. A table snippet works exactly the way you'd expect it to. You've got your headings, you've got your text, and you just fill it out like you would with any other table. And you can see when you save it, it's going to look, it's going to have that nice styling, and it's going to be really obvious which are the headers. The tab snippet works the same way. You tab on the left, content of the tab on the right. All of this stuff is very simple. Now, if you want to access those snippets, they're all going to be right here in the puzzle piece icon, and where it says insert snippet, and then you just go to there and you choose the one you want. And let's move on to components. So your components are here, and we have a whole bunch of really exciting components that it's gonna make it really easy to make your page attractive, and to draw your visitors' attention to the things that you want to draw their attention to. So we've got these in alphabetical order. The first one's the card block component. And that one, it just has these cards. We can do any number of cards that we want. We've got some short information there. Each one has its own link. So if you just got a bunch of links, this may be a more engaging and attractive way to present those than just a big list. We've got that contact card component that I showed you, where you just type in the email address of the person that you want to have their information, and it'll put all their information right on the page. This is one that I'm really excited about, the call to action banner. If you really want to draw your students or your visitors' eyes to something very important on the page, this is the main thing. When they get to your page, this is exactly what you want them to focus on. You use this call to action banner. Now, my strong recommendation is you only ever use one of these, because if you're trying to draw their attention to everything, you're drawing their attention to nothing. But if you put one of these on your page, that's going to be the focus. So when you get to that page, there's one main action you want them to take. This is how to do it, that call to action banner. We have another announcement component here. This one uses a photo. It also includes a call to action button. I wouldn't use both of these, but if you have a nice photo that is relevant to your call to action, this is a really nice way to draw people's attention, because it includes a big heading, some text, and a call to action button, just like the other one. We have some other ways to display images here. We've got this image block component that has a little caption underneath it built in. That's really nice. You can use most of these components inside of snippets. So for example, if you wanted to put this image block component inside columns, you can totally do that, and that's a great place to put it. Maybe you don't want it quite this big, you want half the page and text in the other half. Go for it. We have this image detail component, which I imagine people are going to use a lot. It's really nice. It includes a little headline, a little text, an optional link, and then a small photo here, just to add some visual interest. There's this image quote component. This is great if you're going to have a guest speaker or an event coming up where you really want to focus on an individual. You can put their picture here, have a quote or a headline and some description, and then you have their call to action right here, where it's going to take you to register for the event page or something like that. We have another quote here. This is a much simpler one. It's just the quote block component, and this is just here's some information. Here's a quote, and here's who said that quote. And then we've got our video component here at the bottom. That's the one we looked at before. It's going to make sure that your video that you're embedding on the page has all of those accessibility options turned on. And it's going to display in a way that is easy for everyone to access. Let's take a look at those real quick. Some of these render out nicely in the editor, and some of them just display a box showing you that it's a component. And just like you do now if you're using components, you can access these with the insert component button. You click on there, it's going to give you all of your components, and you can pick the one you want and fill out the options for it. Very easy to use. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up on Teams or call me at extension 6234 or send me an email at signaj@mjc.edu. Look forward to working with you on this.